Welcome back to some more the 39 steps. So we're on this event called the Radical Candidate. Sir Harry's pickle turns out to Hannay's advantage, as he makes friends in high places. I was actually wondering why the Radical Candidate, how this would fit into the story, meeting Mr. Harry. Tuesday, 26th of May, 1914, Masonic Hall, Brattlebane. Oh, what a peaceful little village or town or whatever this is. Here I'm coming with my brum car into this. I don't know. That text was too small to read in that time. Oh, another chance. True gift is his native towns, 1857 something. Those were the last words of the sign. The hall had about 500 in what? 500 in women mostly. A lot of bald heads and a dozen or two young men. The chairman was a weaselly minister with a reddish nose. He lamented on Crumpleton's absence, soliloquized on his influenza, and gave me a certificate as a trusted leader of Australian thought. There were two policemen at the door, and I hope they took note of that testimonial. Alright, I'm gonna here perform the speech of my life. Then Sir Harry started. Sir Harry's speech. Let's see, his notes. He had about a bushel of notes from which he read, and when he let go of them, he fell into one prolonged stutter. Every now and then he remembered a phrase he had learned by heart, straightened his back, and gave it off like Henry Irving. The next moment he was bent double and crooning over his papers. Of course, we've all been there. Before having speeches in front of your class, like super awkward. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about my cat. His name is Snowball. I love him very many times. He talked about the German menace and said it was all a Tory invention, to cheat the poor of their rights and keep back the great flood of social reform. But that organized labor realized this and laughed the Tories to scorn. British Navy. He was all for reducing our navy as a proof of our good faith, and then sending Germany an ultimatum telling her to do the same or we would knock her into a cocked hat. Cocked hat, yes, cocked. Yes. He said that, but for the Tories, Germany and Britain would be fellow workers in peace and reform. I thought of the little black book in my pocket. I get a lot of Scottish friends cared for peace and reform. Alright, all in all. In a queer way I liked his speech. You could see the niceness of the chap shining out behind the muck with which he had been spoon-fed. Alrighty. So the speech went okay. I mightn't be much of an orator, but I was 1000% better than Sir Harry. I simply told him all I could remember about Australia, all about its Labour Party and immigration and universal service, praying there should be no Australian there. I doubt if I remember to mention free trade, but I said there were no Tories in Australia, only Labour and Liberals. And I started in to tell them that the kind of glorious business I thought could be made out of the empire if we really put our backs into it. Oh, Olvier, I fancy I was rather a success. I fancy, yes. The minister didn't like me though. Why not, Mr. Minister?
I'd like to propose a vote of thanks to Sir Harry for his statesman-like speech, and to Mr. Twisden, whose words had the eloquence of an emigration agent.
What the fuck did you just call me? Immigration agent? Bitch.
A ripping speech, Twisden. Now, you're coming home with me. I'm all alone, and if you'll stop a day or two, I'll show you some very decent fishing.
Oh, hell yeah. Sir Harry, we're gonna fish the shit out of your lake. Eh. Oh, it's dark in here. And it's cold, Mrs. Sir Harry. Might have to warm each other by the fire. Back at Sir Harry's, we had a hot supper and then drank some grog. We let in we let in into temptation, and he stroked my hair gently across my face, behind my ear. The time had come for me to put my cards on the table. I saw by this man's eye that he was a kind you can trust. Okay, so
Listen, Sir Harry. I've something pretty important to say to you. You're a good fellow, and I'm going to be frank. Where on earth did you get that poisonous rubbish you talked tonight?
Oh, was it as bad as that? It did sound rather thin. I got most of it out of the Progressive magazine, and pamphlets that agent chap of mine keeps sending me. But you surely don't think Germany would ever go to war with us?
Ask that question in 6 weeks, and it won't need an answer. If you'll give me your attention for half an hour, I'm going to tell you a story.
oh, story time. I blinked no detail. Will we be more movies? Oh, I want movies.
So you see, you have got here in your house the man that is wanted for the Portland Place murder. Your duty is to send your car for the police and give me up. I don't think I'll get very far. There'll be an accident, and I'll have a knife in my ribs an hour or so after arrest. Nevertheless, it's your duty as a law-abiding citizen. Perhaps in a month's time you'll be sorry, but you have no cause to think of that.
He was looking at me with bright, steady eyes.
What was your job in Rhodesia, Mr. Hannay?
Mining engineer. I've made my pile cleanly, and I've had a good time in the making of it.
Not a profession that weakens the nerves, is it?
As to that, my nerves are good enough.
Oh, I told him my name. Oh, snap. This is Blade. I took the hunting knife and did the old Mashona trick of tossing it in the air and catching it in my lips. Wow! Astonishing, Mr. Hannay.
I don't want proof. I may be an ass on the platform, but I can size up a man. You're no murderer, and you're no fool. I believe you're speaking the truth. I'm going to back you up. Now, what can I do?
First, I want you to write a letter to your uncle. I've got to get in touch with the government people sometime before the 15th of June.
Hannay, pull his mustache.
That won't help you. This is Foreign Office business, and my uncle would have nothing to do with it. Besides, you'd never convince him. No. I'll go one better. I'll write to the Permanent Secretary of the Foreign Office. He's my godfather and one of the best going. Now, what do you want?
Tell him I want you. He sat down at a table and wrote to my dictation. The ghost is raiding! And something. Oh my god. Dear Walter, I hope this letter finds you well, and I must apologize for not being in touch for such a long while. I'm finding all my time taken up with this political business, even to the detriment of my fishing. Anyway, on to more important matters. Without sounding overly enigmatic, I'm writing to say that if a man called Twiston happens to make your acquaintance before the 15th of June this year, it will be to your benefit to treat him kindly, despite what he may look like. This Twiston chap will prove his bona fides by passing the words Black Stone and whistling Annie Laurie. Listen carefully to him, dear uncle. He has something to say that might just wake you up. Cheerio and happy hunting, Harry. And that was it. Yes.
Good. That's the proper style. Oh, by the way, you'll find my godfather, his name's Sir Walter Bullivant, down at his country cottage for Whitsuntide. It's close to Artonswell on the Kennet. And that's done. Now, what's the next thing?
You're about my height. Lend me the oldest tweed suit you've got. Anything will do, so long as the colour is the opposite of the clothes I destroyed this afternoon. Then, show me a map of the neighbourhood and explain to me the lie of the land. Lastly, if the police come seeking me, just show them the car in the glen. If the other lot turn up, Tell them I caught the South Express after your meeting.
Oh. Are you gonna involve more people in your stupid lies, Mr. Hannay? Gonna get them all killed. He did, or promised to do, all these things. I shaved off the remnants of my mustache and got inside an ancient suit of what I believe is called heather mixture. The Peebalds! The map gave me some notion of my whereabouts and told me the two things I wanted to know: where the main railway to the south could be joined and what were the wildest districts near at hand. Oh my god, he's gonna go hunting lions. He wakened me from my slumbers in the smoking room armchair and led me blinking into the dark, starry night. Tool shed. An old bicycle was found in a tool shed and handed over to me. Collected bicycle. Yay!
First, turn to the right, up by the long fir wood. By daybreak, you'll be well into the hills. Then, I should pitch the machine into a bog and take to the moors on foot. You can put in a week among the shepherds and be as safe as if you were in New Guinea.
Thank you.
Think nothing of it. You got me out of a tight spot last night. Now, you better get cracking. Good luck.
Farewell, my dear friend. I will miss you. I pedaled diligently up steep roads of hill gravel till the skies grew pale with morning. Run to the hills. Alright, my dudes, this has been the 39 steps. And yeah, with the thing is watching, get rest per here. I wish you find it stay up the hills. Until next time, Asa.